So I picked up this Xbox off of eBay, and I got it for pretty cheap because it doesn't work correctly. It's the cool translucent crystal version, which is kind of rare here in the United States. And I think they were a special edition in Canada, and I think they came bundled with Fable. This one will work for a little bit, and then it gets too hot and it shuts down. So I already discovered why it's shutting down, and it's because the fan back here doesn't turn on. So what I want to do today is I'm going to replace the fan. I'm going to clean it up. Whoever had this last, I think, was a smoker, and so it's got this kind of brown tint to the whole thing. So I'm going to try to do like an amateur restoration to it. So these are the controllers that came with it. It came with a, I think this is the Halo edition controller, which is kind of like a translucent blue. And then here's the crystal clear one that was bundled with this system originally. And as you can see, it's kind of brown too. They both work. I did test them. They do work. The system powers up. You can actually play games on it for a little bit before it tries to shut down, before it gets too hot. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on this for now, and then I'll clean these up later at another time. But the main thing is I want this to look good and run good. So the first thing I need to do is get these screws out. And yeah, as you can tell, somebody's been in here already. All these screws are missing, which sucks. Somebody broke the seal here and here. I'll go ahead and start pulling these out. And of course these screws have to be tight as hell too. There's one. Okay, let's see what it looks like inside. Jeez. There we go. Gross. Well, that side looks nice. Yeah, that looks pretty gross. I don't know what that is. Let's remove some of this stuff here. It looks like there's a dead cockroach in here too. That's nice. You know, I haven't seen them with a Seagate drive like that before, so that's kind of different. Can't figure out where to grab this thing. Here we go. As you can see, there's a lot of dead bugs and lots of dead bugs in there. It's gross. It's like a freaking Roach Motel in here. Yeah, look at all this. Just gross. It's like dead bugs everywhere. I mean, look at down in there. It's all just dead cockroaches. Just dead cockroaches everywhere. Just disgusting. It's like a cockroach massacre in here. There's like parts to them splattered all over the place. I wonder if they're coming in when the fan was spinning. Wow. That is absolutely disgusting. I might have to take this out to the garage and use a shop vac to get some of this out. Because that is something else. It's unreal. I think I'll take all these screws out of there and then take it out to the garage so I can get underneath the motherboard and stuff like that. I think all that rust that you're seeing came from the cockroaches urinating and defecating all over the board, or all over the place in here. And it's absolutely gross. I've never seen anything like this. It's like a cockroach massacre. Alright, I'm going to take it out to the garage and vacuum it out and blow it out with the air hose, and I'll be back. And here we go. The motherboard actually looks pretty clean. I'm surprised by that, to be honest. I thought this would be much nastier than it is. Backside of it looks pretty good. And a surprise to no one, there was a crap load of dead cockroaches under the motherboard. I actually pulled out that RF shielding and tossed it because it was just too far gone. So I do have another RF shield that I'll put in here to replace it. But it was so disgusting. It was all full of freaking cockroach crap that was caked on it and rusting out really bad. So no saving that. Power supply unit looks pretty good too. I mean, like I said, all this worked, which is just unbelievable. I'm going to take this cover here off, this out, all the electronics out of there, and then I'm going to scrub this thing with soap and water and get it as clean as I can. That power button. There. Man, that took forever to get that off. Alright, with the case drying up after I washed it, I'm going to go ahead and put some thermal paste on the CPU because, I mean, it's been overheating. Ah, man, I hate doing this. Like, I've broken too many of these stupid things from the past. There. So let's take a look here. Yeah, that's pretty dried up. So it's a good thing that I decided to do this. This one's usually stuck. I'll try to get it off there, but if I can't, I can't. Yeah. Towards the inside. I'm not going to bother with this. These typically are, the heatsink is usually stuck. Alright, so I got new thermal paste put in there, and I think the next step is to tackle this nasty looking thing. I already cleaned up the hard drive. That looks nice. But this looks absolutely disgusting. So I expect to see more cockroach guts when I pull this apart. Let's see how much cockroaches we find in here. Whoa. This CD-ROM is a lot different than the other styles that I've messed with. Doesn't even come apart the same way. Let's see. How does it come apart? Usually there's a couple screws here. And sitting here messing around forever, and then I realize there's another screw. Another one of those stupid warranty stickers covering it up. Okay, now I can take it apart. And it's kind of nasty in there. Well, not really. It's not bad. This should clean up pretty easily. Pull this bottom piece off too. And get some of the guts out of there. But first I'll start by cleaning that lens up. Okay. I don't really want to mess around with that too much. I don't want to pull those cables out because they look like they'll be a pain in the butt to get back in. So I'll just try to vacuum most of that out. Alright, I took it outside and I blew it out with the air hose to get all the cockroach guts out of there. So now we are ready to reassemble this. Well, let's put it back together. Alright, there we go. Alright, after scrubbing the crap off of this thing, and I mean, I was scrubbing this for a while, I got it looking a lot better. There's still a little bit of brown tinting in here, but I think that's because of the glue. And I'm not too concerned about that. The feet will cover that up. Got some scratches here and there, but I ordered new feet for it. They should be coming in sometime this week. But in the meantime, I did find this. This is a way better condition piece of RF shielding, and I am going to slap this bad boy in. And there's a face plate, which looks much cleaner. So I'll go ahead and put this stuff together and put the RF shielding in, and then we can start putting the motherboard back in and putting all the parts back together. So already it's looking a heck of a lot better than it did. It's not all rusty. This this shielding I found in another Xbox that was pretty much junk, and so I'm glad I kept it. As you can see underneath, nice and reflective. So this is going to work out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it so far. I got the motherboard in, The power supply unit's in. The controller ports are in. And also, I had to find another fan. This thing was disgustingly dirty, so I cleaned it up. I'm going to put some grease on those bearings there and put it back together and drop it in. Here's the other part to it. So, can't wait. It's going to be nice to have a working, functioning Xbox again. Here's the top part all cleaned up. It looks much better. It doesn't really have that brown tint as much anymore. There's still a little hint of it. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but you know, I don't care. I'm just happy that it turned out as good as it did. And again, I have the RF shielding that'll go in here. That's the outside, so that'll be facing down, you know, towards the top. And then this is the inside, which you can see is rusty and crappy looking, but doesn't really matter. That goes on the inside. You're not going to see that. You'll see this, which looks really good. So I'm going to go ahead and put this into here and then move on to other things. And here's how the top turned out. Again, it's not perfect, but it's a huge improvement over that rusty, nasty one that I had on here. So very happy with that. It's actually looking pretty cool. Next, I'll start putting the drives in and stuff like that, and I'll show you how that turns out. Okay, so this fan actually I pulled from another Xbox, and it does work. This one is the original. I don't think this one works, but I took this apart so I could clean it, get all the crap off of it, because this thing was this one was worse than that cosmetically. This one was way dirtier than that one. So I'm going to go ahead and put some grease on the bearings, because this has these little tiny bearings in there, as you can probably see on both sides. Grease those and put it back together, and it had this just covering it, and because that doesn't stick very well anymore, I'm just going to use a little piece of electrical tape. There it is, nice and clean, and new bearing grease. Spins nicely. Oh, it should just pop in. Just like that. There we go. This guy's ready to go in. Sorry. Ah, dang it. Start putting this in wrong. I think There we go. Oops. This one goes in first, right? Yeah. CD-ROM first, I think. And then this one. I think this goes in like this. There. And this drops down. And then this drops down. Cute! Okay. Now, again, I should have put this in first, but I didn't. So, suck. Okay, finally. Now this. Okay, let's get these cables in. Okay, now I can test it and see if it turns on and if the fan spins. All right, let's see if this works. It didn't turn on. That's a very bad sign. What did I forget to hook up? Okay, so I'm not sure why it's not turning on. I'm wondering if the power supply unit might be bad. Huh. I got everything plugged in. So, let's try something else. Okay, so I messed around for quite a while trying to get this thing to work. And sadly, the cockroaches kind of wreaked havoc on the motherboard enough to make it not work anymore. Turns out the motherboard was bad. Ended up replacing that with the spare, which is essentially the exact same thing. And now okay, so I had to take a break from this thing because I was making way too many mistakes, and I actually burnt out 2 motherboards. And what happened is the shielding I put in is meant for the older style of Xbox. I wrote version 1.4 in there now so I know. But it has this extra piece of metal here for the post on the case to come up and through. And this thing was touching the motherboard underneath and frying it out. I just took the whole shield out and put in a 1.6 version. So I'll be using this with the last motherboard that I have, which is a 1.6. Now here is the one. Yeah, I think this is one of them that I burnt up. This is the one that was original to this case, and I'm going to actually repair it. But I want to show you what happened is that little transistor right there fried out. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put this motherboard in and hook everything up. And hopefully I don't fry this stupid thing out. I also have the hard drive that goes to this board, because that was another thing that I forgot about. You need to have the hard drive that's married to the board in order for it to work. So I'll have to take this one out of the caddy because that goes to the original board for here. Yeah, it's a big mess. But whatever. Hopefully I got it this time. Okay, so I got it plugged in again, and I just want to make sure that nothing's fried. So let's try turning it on. Yes, look at that. Let's open up the drive. Beautiful. Yes, this is great. Perfect. Now I will actually fix the original board and put it back in this thing, just to make it so it's all original. I know it doesn't really matter, but I like to keep the original stuff all together. And if you remember, I only had 2 of these through bolts. Now I got all of them. And so I got these rubber feet from another Xbox that is a parts unit, or a parts console. And what I'm going to do is I also bought some double-sided tape. It's really sticky. This is T-Rex super glue tape, and this works really good for this. Basically, I just stick it on there and grab a scissors. And then we'll cut the tape, the excess tape off. Peel the white off. And then stick it on there. Hold it really tight. Looks as good as new. Alright, there we go. Feet are back on. This new shielding had a little bit of corrosion on the back, and I scrubbed it out as much as I could. It looks pretty good though. I mean, in comparison to before, this thing looks really good. So now I can actually enjoy playing Xbox again on a console that is actually working correctly. Alright, so I got the Xbox up in my den now. Hooked up the old Trinitron. And let's see what it does. Oh, nice. It's working. So first thing I like to do is I like to go to settings. And then we'll go down to video. And then go down to 1080. Oh, it already is set at 1080i. Perfect. I'm just going to quickly put some of my saved games onto this hard drive. So let's play Fable, The Lost Chapters. Figured since the system came with Fable bundled in it, I think, might as well play the game, huh? Now I have the Xbox running up through component, so it's like RGB. That's how I'm able to run this at 1080i. And my TV supports 1080i. It's a CRT TV, it's a Trinitron, but it also supports HDMI. Sweet! Yeah, it seems to be running pretty good. How the hell did I get out of here? Right now I'm just using this Mad Catz controller until I get my other one cleaned up, put back together. But I call this a success so far. I'm very happy with it. Let's try out Amped. This is one of the first games besides Halo that I bought for the original Xbox. Amped, actually, it looks really damn good on this. Can't forget my favorite game. No, Max! What is she calling? Damn. Well, forget it. She's dead anyway. Might as well just go back to the bar.